RX Television on RxMuscle.com. This is Ask Dave, better known as hashtag Ask Dave, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. Try Creolized ultra-micronized creatine. I'm your host, Sadiq Faruqi. This is your 30-minute question and answer show with Dave Palumbo. All your questions on diet, training, supplementation, IFBB pros, competitions, life, general, whatever it is on your mind, it is all on the table. As we now bring in Dave Palumbo. Dave, you have an upcoming How to Be a Diet Guru course. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit more about it?
Yeah, on September 2nd, we've set the date now officially. It's up. You can go to davepalumbo.com and get all the details. But we are going to be holding the Secrets to Becoming a Diet Guru, my 10-hour course where I teach people everything about nutrition, diet, supplementation, performance-enhancing drugs, pre-contest, off-season, men, women, detoxification, site injection oils. I go over everything basically. And it's super popular. We sell every class out. So guys, if you want to take it, it's down here in Cape Coral, Florida, right in our little facility here on my property. And it's a real fun day. I take you guys out to a lunch at, what is that place called, Johnny, over here that I like now? I don't even remember. Taco Joe's used to be in New York, but this is like Three Amigos or some three burritos. Three pepper burrito, that's what it's called. And it's a delicious place. We go to lunch there. But it's a very informative day here. We spend it together. I get to know everyone really well, and we always become friends when it's all said and done. So guys, it's limited seating here. So make sure you sign up at davepalumbo.com. Don't wait if you want to take this course. Hopefully my shoulder will be recovered. As you guys are watching this, actually this is a pre-recorded show we did. I'm recovering from my shoulder replacement surgery right now. The next time you see me, I will have a sling on my arm, I promise you.
Let's go to the questions. If you want to join us, you can join us on the Muscle Central Forum on RxMuscle.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can ask your question on the chat box on the right-hand side of the video player or on our Instagram page. Our Instagram handle is official_RxMuscle, our official Facebook page, or on Twitter if you tweet using hashtag AskDave. Let's go to Rami Tanner. Hate your show so much, I would rather be locked in a room with Rich Piana and Mac Truck. Dave, can you please tell us what you know about vitamin B17?
I got to be honest with you. I forgot what there's another name for vitamin B17. I can't recall what it is. Maybe Johnny can look it up for me while we're doing the next question and we can come back to it. I forget what it is. It has some kind of anti-cancer qualities to it. I don't remember what the chemical or whatever the generic name of the B17. B17 is like the official, it's like a B vitamin, but it's really not. And I'm not going to comment on it because, like I said, when I don't remember something I don't know and I can't look it up right away, I don't want to sound ignorant. So let's go to the next question.
Big Popeye John, if you train first thing in the morning, would it be good to have watermelon as your only pre-workout meal?
Not if you want to build muscle and retain muscle. I sometimes have watermelon before I go to the gym because I'm not a real lifter anymore. But no, I mean if you're going to the gym with weights, you need to put protein into your diet as well. So I used to do shakes when I would go to the gym in the morning. I would do 50 grams of whey isolate. I would do like a 40 grams of a high molecular weight carbohydrate, like something similar to my Carbolyze product or Carbolyze, for that matter. And I'd probably put a tablespoon of macadamia nut oil in there just to kind of slow the absorption of those ingredients. And then I would just go to the gym and train. That's probably your best bet because it's easily digestible. If you have a meal, okay, like eggs and oatmeal in the morning, it's probably just going to lay in your stomach, unless you eat it really way earlier than you go, an hour before you go. Most people just get up and go to the gym though, so a shake is probably your best bet.
Train_insane, if you have an intolerance for D-bol, would you have problems with all other orals?
Maybe. Usually Dianabol is not quite as bad as Anadrol. I could never take Anadrol when I was competing. D-bol wasn't so bad. And then Anavar and Winstrol were kind of really well tolerated. And Primo acetate tabs were probably the easiest because they're not even 17-alpha alkylated. So if you have a problem with Dianabol, you'll probably definitely have a problem with Anadrol. You might not have a problem with Winstrol and Anavar pills, though, because they're a lot more mild.
Let's go to Soups. HGH in split doses throughout the day or in the morning?
Here's my rule of thumb. If you're doing less than 4 IUs or less, I usually have people take it in one shot. If you're doing more than it, then I have you split it up. Let's say you're doing 5 IUs a day, then I usually do 3 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon sometime. If you're doing, some people will do 2 and 2 if they're doing 4 IUs, but I think if you're doing 4, just take them all in one shot. To be honest with you, if you don't have the money to waste, but you still want to get good results from a product like GH, take 3 IUs a day is fine. You could take 2 IUs a day and get good results. I promise you, the longer you take it, the better the results. GH is not one of these things where you can bang down 6 to 8 weeks of it at a high dose and get a great effect from it. You're way better off taking less over a longer period of time.
Let's go to big_Peapod. Again, this could be another consultation question. Please give us your protocol for orals pre-contest using such drugs as Anavar, Winstrol, Halotus, Proviron, Arimidex, so on and so forth. And when to stop.
So they want me to basically give my whole drug cycle?
Pretty much.
Too much.
The playbook.
I like to use testosterone. The last 8 weeks I like to use testosterone, Masteron, Trenbolone acetate, okay, and maybe Winstrol. And then the last 2 weeks I'll add on top of that Halotus in about 20 milligrams per day. And then I'll obviously use clenbuterol and cytomel as fat burners and maybe some GH if you can afford it, with an anti-aromatase like Arimidex in there. So that's pretty much my last 8 week cycle.
Jeremiah Kennedy 700. Dave, post-show water retention, tip to keep it to a minimum, if any at all.
Post-show, I usually keep people on a little bit of diuretic the first couple days. One of my clients just competed at Team Universe. He called me up. He was ready to go. This is no joke. He was ready to go to the emergency room. He's like, I'm going to call you. I called you first, but I'm heading to the emergency room. I'm so uncomfortable. I feel terrible. I think there's something wrong with me. I said, how much weight did you gain since the show 2 days ago? He goes, 18 pounds. I said, all right, this is what I want you to do. Take a half a Diazide, which was the diuretic we were using on him for the show, and don't do anything for 12 hours. And you tell me how you feel by the night. And he called me up. He's like, you're a wizard. He goes, you were right. I can't believe it. I feel so much better. I lost 12 pounds of water, and I've been peeing all day, and I feel 100 times better. I said, I'm not a wizard. I did everything wrong already myself. I've already experienced all these problems. I already went to the emergency room, when I was competing. So a lot of people get a real bad rebound. The key is, don't restrict sodium. Don't restrict fluid. You just need to keep yourself on a little bit of a diuretic to keep flushing it out extra. If you restrict sodium and water again, you're going to make yourself sodium and water sensitive again, and it's never going to go away. Keep eating, keep doing everything you're doing, do a little cardio, and stay on a little bit of diuretic just until your body gets used to everything, and that usually takes anywhere from 5 to 7 days. Once once you're out of that neck of the woods, you're pretty safe to go. That doesn't mean you need to stay on a diuretic for that long. You might only need 1 extra half and just to get rid of that extra water you're retaining, and then you're good. So don't get panicky. It happens to everyone.
Let's go to Josh Boyle 66. What are some important things you should bring to a show if competing that an amateur might forget or fail to think about?
Always carry, if you're traveling, always carry your posing trunks with you on all times. Don't put it in your luggage, ever. Because if your luggage gets lost, you will not have any posing trunks. Carry them on your body. You don't have to wear them, but bring them with you. Same thing with your music that you're going to use for your posing routine. Also, I always like, even if you're going to get spray tanned at a show, always bring extra tanning products with you, just in case something happens. Okay, and you can't get spray tan, or you get there late, or whatever happens, you always want backup tan, okay? Always have backup tan, have the posing trunks with you, and your music. Once you do that, you're really good to go. You can't go wrong, okay, at that point. Make sure also, if you're using diuretics, bring them with you on the plane. Don't pack them in luggage, okay? Because if you lose your luggage, you're screwed. Anything else other than that can always be bought. Food can be bought. More clothing, to lounge around in if your luggage gets lost can always be purchased. But those things that I mentioned cannot. Okay? And there's always oil backstage, so that's not a problem. You don't have to bring that with you.
Vicky Viking 86, Dave, love the show. Your opinion on MK666 when following your ketogenic diet?
You know, I haven't used it personally. It's theoretically, it's a growth hormone releasing peptide that's orally absorbable, okay? As opposed to all the GHRP6s, CJCs, hexarelin, all the injectable, you know, GHRHs. And what they basically do is they stimulate the pituitary to directly release growth hormone. This supposedly is an oral. I've heard guys make up all kinds of crap about this, about how it's a SARMs, which it's not, how it does this and that and builds all. Look, it's not a miracle drug, but what it is it's an oral form of growth hormone releasing peptide. So a lot of people that are afraid to take shots, it's easier to take. I don't know the potency of it compared to the shots, but it's nothing compared to taking real GH. Now I have guys that swear they've put on a lot of weight with this stuff. I don't know. I haven't used the stuff that they've used, but who knows what else they're taking. So, you know, I'm sure it's a decent growth hormone releasing peptide. It probably gives you a little appetite boost, I'm sure, which helps as well. I don't think it's the thing, the die-all of everything that people are making it out to believe, because if it was, everyone would be using it. I think it's something that's gray market right now. It kind of is floating under the radar of authorities, and people are selling it on their websites, people who have a following and stuff like that, and they're getting all their clients to use it. It's cheap to buy. They're making a good profit on it, and that's fine. If it works and people find that they get results from it, then no big deal. I personally wouldn't sell it because it's not really legal. It's on that borderline, and I'm not interested in going there. Like I said, it's not a miracle. It's nothing compared to GH, but it might give you a little boost if you have nothing. You know, if you really have no other options.
Let's go to Sultana Pista. Your thoughts on DHT? Does it help with building muscle? Any need to keep it going?
DHT, dihydrotestosterone, I would not take that directly. You're going to get a lot of side effects, from acne to possible hair loss to possible prostate irritation. So I've never heard anyone take direct DHT. DHEA maybe, which is dihydroepiandrosterone, which is an adrenal androgen. That's a different compound, but he's asking about DHT, right? Sid?
I'm sorry?
He's asking specifically about DHT, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take that at all. I don't even know where you would get it, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't do it.
The Atomic Beast. Tony from New Jersey, your show disgusts me every time I pop my headphones on in to listen to the channel at work. I throw up all over my fresh deliveries. Dave, what kind of music, artists, genres, etc. were played in the gym compared to the girly, depressing stuff they have today? What did you like listening to, and what kind of music do you still like listening to while training?
You know, when I would go to the gym, I used to train at this World Gym Babylon, or I trained at Steve Weinberger's gym, Bev Francis Power's gym. And back in the 90s, heavy metal was, if you were in a good gym, they played a lot of heavy metal, and I liked it. You know, I liked to train. It kind of got me inspired and kept me, you know, really, you know, pumped up in the gym. But the truth is, I actually also like to train in silence. Now, Joe Gold, who was the original the owner of Gold's Gym and then sold it and then started World Gym. In World Gym, there was no music ever played. You weren't. It was like a sanctuary. It was like going to a church, and that's the way he believed that it should be. There shouldn't be any distractions, and I like that because I think it enables you to really focus on your workout and really think about what you're doing. Sometimes music is very distracting. When I go to the gym now, because I can't really get even a good workout because I'm in so much pain, I usually listen to podcasts, whether it be our podcasts or reptile podcasts or other, you know, people refer me to other, you know, websites and to try to listen to an interview. If I'm preparing maybe for an interview the next day and I want to hear about the person and what they're about, I might go listen to something else like that. But back in the day, heavy metal was where it was at.
From the YouTube comments, XW Dave, if you had to choose between TB500 or BPC 157 for joint healing, what would you recommend?
Well, I have good news for you guys, because TitanMedicalCenter.com is going to have both of these made from their compounding pharmacy, and they're going to be releasing them. They might even be released as you guys are watching this show. I am currently being sent some in the mail to help me heal from my shoulder replacement surgery, which, by the way, obviously we pre-recorded this. By the next time you see me, you'll see me in the sling. But I will be using that to help heal myself. So I like them. I don't necessarily know how good they work, and I will tell you why. My shoulders are so bad that there's nothing that can be done for them. And BP, BP 127 and TB 500 are more for connective tissue issues, more for muscle damage, injuries, and stuff like that. Soft tissue, whereas my joints are, that's the cartilage in the joints have been gone for years, so I'm not going to grow that back anytime soon. That's probably why stem cells didn't work well on me. But for people who just got injured, those peptides seem to work really well. I'm going to, once again, now that we're going to get a true pharmaceutical version of them that we know is 100% effective, once we implement that and people start using that, we're going to really see how good these peptides are. Because right now, we don't know what people are selling, if there's any potency at all to it. But once it comes from a pharmacy in the US that's manufacturing, now we know we got the real stuff. So it's going to be exciting over the next 6 months, a year, to see how some of the people with injuries respond to this. Once again, you can go to TitanMedicalCenter.com and tell them RxMuscle and Dave Palumbo sent you. You'll get a great discount, and they'll take care of you.
John Boy 32, John from London. Dave, God bless. Don't want to say anything nasty about your show. It's the dog's bollocks, which is a good saying in London. But right now, I'm having opiate and alcohol issues. I'm 40 years of age, but love to train. But at the moment, I have no energy. I'm natural, no steroids. Just looking for a shout out and some good inspiration from you and your excellent team. God bless, John.
Well, look, if we can inspire anyone out there, even one person, I'm hoping we do a little few more than one person, then you know what? It's job well done. And I know I get depressed sometimes, and I go to podcasts or I go and listen to tapes or read books of people that I find inspirational. Sometimes, when you can't train because you're injured, and like I said, I'm going to be in a sling for 6 to 8 weeks after my shoulder replacement surgery. I'm going to be depressed. I know I am, and I'm going to go and I'm going to listen to people speak in a positive way, because that puts me in a positive light. So if I'm into breeding snakes now, if I go listen to a snake podcast about someone who really had a great year and produced some great animals, and that'll put me in a good mood, and it will motivate me to get out of the slump I'm in, because I'm not going to be able to go to the gym. So when you can't go to the gym because you're injured, it's hard to listen to gym stuff because it makes you miss the gym more. So you have to always have a second hobby, something else that you do that will make you feel good about yourself. And like I said, we all go through down periods. You think I want to go get shoulder surgery? I want to blow my brains out. Just the idea of having to do it, having them cut my rotator cuff tendons and dislocate my joint and cut the head of my humerus off. It's a nightmare, but you know what? Sometimes, and this is what the doctor said to me, and he's a bodybuilder himself. He said, you got to just let go. You got to release control of your life, because we really don't have control anyway. We think we have control. We convince ourselves we have control, but we really don't. Okay? The guy upstairs is the guy controlling everything, and that's the way it comes down to it. So, when you're having a bad day, remember, when you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be a lot better. Don't think that it's the end of the world. It never is. There's always a better solution around the corner. And even after the worst things happen to you, there's always a way to recover from that. And look, I've lived a lot of life, and I've had bad things happen to me. I was in jail for 5 months, for God's sakes. And I got through it, and I turned it into a positive experience. So you guys, nothing is probably as bad as that. So you could always recover from that, and you could always come back from that. And that's the take-home message. And I want to also comment on the B17 question we got before. Johnny sent me a little screen capture from Google, and I was right. B17 is also known as amygdala, which is a drug or a compound that they isolate from the pits of peaches or apricots. And they found that it has anti-cancer qualities to it. They give it to a lot of cancer patients as a natural remedy. It works in some people, it doesn't work in other people. But I don't know why they call it B17, but they do. But the actual chemical is known as amygdala. So I hope that helps.
Let's go to Kyle Lives. How many months out of the year should a bodybuilder spend in their bulking and cutting cycles?
I believe it's important that everyone competes at least once a year. Now, if you competed in January of 17, that doesn't mean you have to compete in January of 18. You can compete in December of 18. So that would be almost a year and a half, almost 2 years. But I think it's a good idea in every calendar year that you do a show. And I'll tell you why. Because you can't indefinitely grow and you can't indefinitely bulk. Eventually, you don't even want to eat food anymore. You feel so disgusting. So it's a good idea because when the diet down process creates a calorie deficit state and it makes your body start wanting to store things, okay? So when you go off the diet, not only will your body store glycogen, but it will store muscle. So you get a nice rebound off any severe contest diet that you do. So even if you're looking to put on a lot of size over the next couple of years, it's a good idea to diet down and then rebound off that diet because you'll get a springboard to even further growth. And I truly believe in that. It's not important to get on stage every single time or every point of your life and always be the best guy there or know that you're going to win the show. Sometimes it's just good to get up there to see what you got. Hey, let's see how much muscle I got. Let's see what kind of conditioning I can get in. Let's see what my shape looks like. And then I can see what I need to work on. So that's my advice.
Take one more question. It's a quickie. Your thoughts on taking a week off training and diet to rest?
I now looking back on my career, I think it's a good idea. I wish I would have done it more often. I really didn't take that much time off. I was obsessed with the gym. I took my days off every week, my 2 days off from weights, but I never took like 2 weeks off from the gym, or I couldn't do it. The only time I would ever do it is if I needed a surgery or something like that. Even if I went on vacation, I would find gyms places and I would go work out. So I was just that crazy motivated and wanting to do it. But I think if I would have taken a year, maybe a week or two off every year, it probably would have helped, some of the injuries heal and everything like that. So I think that's a good idea if it's strategically placed.
That's going to do for this episode of Ask Dave, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. Hopefully next week when we come back, we will be live and Dave will be in much better condition following his shoulder surgery. For Johnny Styles and Dave Palumbo, I'm Sadiq Faruqi. We'll see you next time.